Hey, how you doing, brother? It's Q1 White here, and I'm here to give my speech about a not so simple question, I guess. But my question is, does human nature depend logistically on our emotions? So first, let me begin with the effect of our emotions. No aspect of our mental life is more important to the quality and meaning of our existence than the emotions, of course. Our complex emotions are what separate us humans from the rest of the world's living things. That may lead to the question, though, well, what is the nature of our existence? We'll get to that later. Emotions are what make life worth living and sometimes worth ending. It does not come to us as a surprise that many of the great philosophers had many different theories about emotions and its relationship to human nature. But it is surprising throughout much of the 20th century, scientists and philosophers of mind tended to neglect our emotions, the very thing that separates us from everything else. So, is human nature real in a sense? Human nature is said to be the psychological characteristics we acquire naturally, without training or so. Which comes first, the human or the emotion? Human nature is just one of the many factors that influence who we become, yet is profoundly important. Successfully changing our culture, our institutions, or ourselves, really, in which depend on understanding human nature. This understanding gives us critical insight into what works for humans as well as what doesn't work. And by that, I just mean that with our emotions are, I can necessarily say, a byproduct of our existence that separates us. So let's think about humans specifically. Humans have a lot of skills. We like to be playful. We like to adventure and think of stuff. We have a lot of knowledge. We create ideas and we make things out of the ideas. We have certain behaviors. We created systems to contain certain things and make life easier and we are clandestine people. We very abstract complex that we have. And then our communication is another different thing that's on a different level. We may be possibly the most abstract communicating species given our knowledge. So that's just to say, human. That's just to give a little insight about humans in general without the emotion side, just to explain how we function as other creatures or organisms do aside from our emotions. But if you want to consider our emotions and our complex emotions, they separate really psychologically from other things because humans, we have a different process. Most animals, we can say, have certain reactions to certain things, but lots of humans have really different broad reactions to a lot of different things. So this is what I'll say. Here are my premises. Humans have complex emotions. Those complex emotions separate humans from all other life. Our separation means we are our own species. If we are our own species, we have our own nature. Therefore, human nature depends on complex emotions. Now, what one might say to really counter that is that our emotions are taught to us through life experiences, as in we go through life and then we figure out our emotions that way. They will say emotions are learned and emotions are changed, therefore they're learned because of our experiences. And then emotions are developed, they can be taught and they can be switched around and changed however someone wants to see them. And emotions are fully understood and changed too often. And that by that I would say they mean our emotions are dependable in a sense. And to me that makes sense for someone to say that, but our nature kind of contradicts what they're saying, because our emotions are not taught to us through life experiences. We have life experiences because our emotions. If we had no emotions, we wouldn't have a feel on other things, or how other things are broken down. We would have to just be there, kind of like a rock. If we had no emotions, we would be like a very complex rock, in a sense. Our emotions, they aren't learned. They can be tampered with. They can be influenced, but we can't learn an emotion. We all have emotions that we take different processes of letting them out, but we all still have those emotions within us. Emotions do change very often, but that's just a part of being here. They change because we're having a lot of different instances and situations, but the fact that they change does mean that they are already there. Therefore, since the emotions are there, they really give us our standing ground for our human nature. Thank you.